Safe stretch. Today we're going to focus a little bit on shoulders, low back, and hamstrings. These are a couple of areas where almost everyone, for some reason or another, is tight or immobile, or might even be a little bit painful in these areas. So we're going to stick with our muscle mind activations. And it's the technique of stretching without stretching. So how does this stuff work? Why does it work, etc.? I'll do my best to explain, and then we'll get right into it. When we slouch, so for example, we stand and we sit around and we're in this slouchy position, the muscles in the front of the body get tight. The muscles in the back of the body shut down. So then we feel tight in the front, and then we feel compelled to stretch the front. But really, the problem is the back. The back has lost its tone. So if we can tone the back side of the body, tone the back side of the neck, tone the back side of the shoulders, the front side opens and we get that sort of stretch effect. We're not really stretching, we're just waking up and toning the muscles on the opposite side of tightness. It's the same thing if we feel tight in the hamstrings. It's because we need to activate our quadriceps. If we're feeling tight in the low back, it's because we have to activate the muscles in the front. So we'll get into that today. And let's start first just by kind of testing our shoulders. We'll do these one at a time. So just kind of sit up normal. And let's say the right arm. Just bring the right arm out, kind of like to a T shape. And without struggling or rushing or forcing, just see how far you can pull your arm back. It's kind of like you're getting ready to give someone a one-arm hug. You see how far your arm goes back, shoulder blade goes toward the spine, without hurting or anything like that, just to get a sense of the range of motion. And then we'll try the other side. So left arm comes up at kind of like to a T, and you kind of squeeze that left shoulder blade toward your spine and just see how it feels, if it feels kind of tight or not, and that's fine. Okay, so the exercise we're going to do today, I'm going to try to do it face down. Now, if you can't lie on your tummy, or if you don't want to lie on your tummy, you can do this exercise standing and even seated is fine. But when we do it on our tummies, we get a little more resistance on the muscles in the back, so we get a little more tone. So you have a choice. Sit up and just mimic the movements while you're sitting up, or we'll lie down together and do it that way. Okay? So if we can, let's lie on our tummies. Now, because of the microphone, my head is going to be up a little bit. But if you can, go ahead and rest your forehead on the mat and try to give yourself some room. Like I'm going to have to improvise a little bit here because I've got a wall in my way, but I'll make do with it. Okay, so we're lying on our tummies, forehead resting on the ground. And let's bring our arms by our sides, palms face down. And what we're going to try to do is basically, I call it the prone snow angel. So we're going to be prone, face down on the ground. Take a breath in, take a breath out, and see if you can lift your arms off the ground. Now, we don't want to force ourselves, but get them as high off the ground as you can comfortably. Now, keeping your arms high off the ground, kind of swoop them up to a Y shape. We don't have to go all the way over our heads, but just kind of out into a Y, thumbs up. And we're trying to get the arms more or less behind our heads without hurting or without forcing. Okay, so that's the motion. Now from this arms out to a Y position, sweep them back to that starting position, arms down. That's one. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. Lift your arms up, please. Arms are by your side. Swoop them up like snow angels till they're about the shape of a Y, thumbs up, and you're trying to get your arms behind your head without forcing. And you should feel the backside of your body toning. And then we swoop back to the starting position, arms down, take a breath. Let's go a couple more times, please. Arms come up. Swoop your arms like snow angels until you get to that Y sort of position. Thumbs up, trying to get the arms behind the head. Swoop them back to that starting position, arms down. We're going to do one more of these. Breath in, breath out. Lift your arms, please. Swoop them up to that Y shape, thumbs up toward the ceiling. Try to get your arms behind your head. Swoop your arms back to the starting position, arms down, and rest. And take a couple of breaths here. So we should be feeling muscles on the back side of the body, probably between the shoulder blades and maybe behind the shoulders themselves. We should feel those muscles working. Now we're going to do part 2 of this, which is snow angels to the cactus position. So this is where we bring our arms kind of into that W shape. Okay? So here's what we do. We get in our starting position, forehead down, arms by our sides. We're experts here. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. Lift your arms, please, just like we did. All this stuff is what we've just done before. We're going to swoop our arms to that Y position. Thumbs point up. Now this time, we're going to bend our elbows and we come into sort of a W position. So the elbows are bending, coming down towards our sides. So our hands are going to kind of wind up by our ears. But we're trying to keep our hands behind our heads a little bit, just so that you can feel that muscle contraction on the backside of your shoulders. Now come back to your Y. Swoop the arms back to that starting position. Arms down. Woo! Take a breath in. Take a breath out. We lift the arms up away from the side of the body. Swoop the arms up to the Y position, thumbs up. Bend your elbows. We come to a W position. Now we're trying to get our fists behind our heads. So that's a little bit of external rotation on the shoulder, but a lot of muscle contraction. My goodness. Come back to the Y. Swoop the arms back to starting position. Arms down. Take a breath in. We're going to do third and final here. When you're ready, raise your arms. Snow angels to the Y. We go Y to W. Give that a good contraction here. Pretty much the entire backside of the body working. Come back to the Y. Swoop back to that starting position, please. Both arms down. Whew. And relax. Just wag your tail a little bit, roll around. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. And let's come up to a seated position, please. And we'll just see how that stretch affected us. Although technically it's not a stretch. You should feel like a lot of your back muscles are active now. So just like we did in the beginning of class, let's take the right arm out to a T. And just notice if that feels different. And then slowly, oh yeah, I see someone got a lot more range of motion. Yes, yes, yes. And we didn't do a single stretch. We activated the muscles on the opposite side of the body. So now we go the other way. That left arm to a T. There you go. Look at that. It's like a gate swinging open now. Good. Good, good, good. Good, excellent. So that's the kind of stuff we need to be doing instead of just endless, mindless stretching. Okay, now let's see if we can address our hamstrings. We've done this before. It's worth repeating. It's very, very good exercise. Today we'll do it a little bit different. We'll focus on one leg at a time. Let's do it this way, okay? If we can we get into a position like this? My left leg is straight, and I've got my right foot kind of in my left inner thigh, kind of almost like tree pose, almost. And first, can we sit up tall in this position? And if we can, that's good. If you cannot, that's also okay. But just make notes. Do you feel tight in your hips? Can you straighten your left leg? Now, keeping your chest up, and we're going to kind of dive between our leg bones. So we're not going to turn to the left. We're not going to turn to the right. We're going to be right in the center. Lift your chest and try to push. Well, just lean forward a little bit. I don't want to coach you. Just lean forward a little bit. Keep your chest up as you do it. And just notice where you feel tight. Probably in that left hamstring a little bit. Maybe in your inner thighs a little bit. Okay, and sit up tall. And let's switch. So we get the right leg straight this time. If we can, left knee is bent, left foot somewhere in that right inner thigh. We take a breath in, take a breath out, and we just hinge in the middle. Don't hinge over your right leg. Don't hinge over your left leg. Just kind of in the middle. Just notice what it feels like. Try to keep your chest up. We're leading with our heart. We don't want to lead with our skull. Okay, come out of that. Shake yourself loose a little bit. And now we'll do some muscle activations to help with that position. So the first thing we can do, if we can sit up tall, I'm going to bend my right knee. My right foot is flat on the ground. I'm going to use my right hand just to kind of brace myself, hold me up. Left hand is going to come on top of that right knee. Now what I want to do is I'm trying to push my right knee down, but my left hand resists that. So we're going to tone these outside thigh muscles. Take a breath in, take a breath out, and press your knee into your hand. About 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. We'll do it a couple more times. Breath in, breath out. Press the outside right knee into that left hand. Give it a good squeeze for about 5 seconds. Release. Breath in, breath out. Give it a good squeeze. Release. We'll go one more time. Breath in, breath out. Give it a good squeeze. Good contraction here. Now gently release, and we'll let the right leg go straight. Left knee bends. The right hand comes over the top of that left knee. Our left hand can support us if we like. Take a breath in. As we breathe out, press your left knee, that outside left knee, into your right hand. Resist. Give it a good go. 5 seconds. Now gently release. Go again. Breath in. Breath out. We're trying to activate those outside thigh muscles. Release. Let's do it 2 more times. Breath in. Breath out. We're toning the outside thigh muscles, so that helps release the inside thigh muscles. Release. Let's go one more time. Breath in. And breath out. That's a contraction there, and release. Good. Now, if we can, let's lie flat on our backs, please. We're going to do a couple different exercises here. Now, the first one is knees to chest. We will not use our hands for this. All we're going to try to do We can have our arms by our side. We can have our arms on our chest. That doesn't matter a whole lot. We're going to take a breath in. And as we breathe out, we're going to bring our knees to our chest without using our hands. Without using the hands. Pull your pelvic floor up. Try to stay flat on the mat. And try to use kind of like your leg muscles to squish yourself flat on the ground. You'll feel this kind of like in the front part of your legs, the front part of your thighs. Breath in, breath out, release. It will go again. Breath in, breath out, knees to chest. Give it a good squeeze. So it's kind of like your shins press into your thighs and your thighs press into your guts. Give it a good squeeze, 5 seconds. Release. When I release, I just kind of wiggle around. I wiggle my legs around. I'll wiggle my hips around just to get a little bit loose. Breath in. Breath out. Squeeze your knees to your chest. Try to keep your spine flat on the ground. We don't want to curl up into a ball. We're kind of like flattening into the mat. And release. And we'll go one more time. Breath in. Breath out. Give it a good squeeze, 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 squeeze. About 5 seconds. And gently release. Now we're going to do part 2 of this exercise. Let me explain a little bit more about part 1. So if you ever feel tight in your low back, some people feel compelled, they'll do a toe touch or something, and they're trying to, quote, loosen their back up. We don't want to loosen up anything. We want to tone things. So by tightening the front, like what we're doing right now, that will help release the back. So we don't want to stretch if we can help it. We want to tone the opposing muscle groups. Okay? So doing that, knees to chest, we can help release your low back. It will release your glutes and it will release your hamstrings. Now, I should say, I beg your pardon, it will release your quadriceps. Now we're going to release the hamstrings. So here's what we try. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. Let's do knees to chest, please. Give knees to chest a good squeeze. Now, while we're squeezing knees to chest, try to straighten your legs a little bit. Don't force it, but you keep your knees as close to your torso as possible. You straighten your knees as much as you can without forcing, and we go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Knees to chest and release. Wiggle around. Take a breath in. Breath out. Knees to chest. And very slowly start to extend your legs to the best of your ability. But keep your knees close to your chest. Keep the spine flat on the ground. Notice if your knees are getting a little straighter. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Knees to chest. Give it a squeeze. Then release. We'll do that 2 more times. Take a breath in. Breath out. Knees to chest. Spine flat on the ground. Slowly start to straighten your knees. As you're doing it, we're still practicing knees to chest. We're still practicing knees to chest. We're just trying to extend the knees. This is where we release the hamstrings. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Knees to chest. Give it a little squeeze and release. Good. Let's go one more time. Breath in. Breath out. Knees to chest. Give a good squeeze. And now still using knees to chest, we're going to slowly extend the legs. Slowly. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Give it a good squeeze. Give it a good go. 5, 4, 3, keep trying. 2, 1, knees to chest. Give it a little squeeze. Then release. Woo! And then we shake loose. Nice. Okay. Now, let's test. Let's come up to our seated position, please. I think we had the left foot forward the first time. I don't know if it matters, but so we'll have our left leg straight, right knee bent, and just notice if that is a little easier and a little more open. Take your breath in, take your breath out, lead with your chest, and we're just going to hinge between our leg bones. Yeah, good. So it's a little interesting for me on my left side. I don't have tension in my hamstring anymore, but I feel a little tension in my calf. And that's okay, that's just a little mental note that I'll have to tone the front side of my shin on my left side. Come up out of that. Could you feel a difference from the first one and the second one? Yeah? Okay, so right leg goes straight, left knee bends, and just notice if this is easier than the first time. Take a breath in, breath out, hinge between the leg bones. Try to keep your chest up. Try to keep your chest up and just notice if there's a difference. Was it easier, smoother? Is it exactly the same? Sit up nice and tall. Good work. Now we're going to do one more just for the sake of symmetry. So if we sit up tall, both legs straight, first of all, is that possible? And if it is, good. If it's not, that's also okay. Again, chest up as high as you can, leading with your chest. Hinge out over those straight legs. Stop when you feel tension in your tissues. So we're not pushing through a stretch. We just stop when we get a little bit of resistance. Come out of that nice and easy. And here we go. Here's what we're going to try to do. Now, we'll probably need to put our hands on the ground for a little support. And you might need to lean forward just a little bit for better leverage. What we're going to try to do is lift one leg at a time. So for example, I'm going to pull the toes back on my right leg, breathe in, keep my right leg straight. I'm just going to try to lift it off the ground. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Put it down, shake it loose. Breathe in, breathe out, lift that right leg. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower down, shake it loose. Breathe in, set it up. Exhale, lift that right leg. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower down. Don't worry too much about how high the leg goes. Just make sure you feel the contractions on the front side of the leg. Here we go, fourth and final. Exhale, lift the right leg. Just lift it up a little bit, pull the toes back, and release. Good. Now we'll do the same thing on the left side. Pull the left toes back, keep your chest up, tone that leg. Lift the left leg, please. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Shake it loose. Breath in. Breath out. Lift the left leg, please. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Shake loose. Breath in. Breath out. Lift the left leg, please. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. It will have our fourth and final. Breath in. Breath out. Left leg, please. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Shake loose. Take a couple of breaths. Now let's go again. So we straighten the legs, pull the toes back, sit up tall. Take a breath in. Try to lead with your chest. Don't lead with your skull, lead with your chest. And just notice if it's a little smoother. I got a little more range. My wrists are on my toes now. Previously, I think my fingers were on my toes. And just come up out of that nice and easy. Good. The goal is to let your muscles do that work for you. So don't pull yourself into these positions. Just let the muscle tone kind of bring you in. Nice. Well, I hope that safe stretching without stretching was helpful for you today. Hopefully you feel a little more upright, a little more balanced, a little freer. I appreciate you. I care about you. If I don't see you sooner, I will see you later. Go forth and be awesome. Thanks.